Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Bog Panda. I'm Dr. Mike at Official Pagan on Everything, and joining me, as always,
Hi, everybody. This is Kelly at KELLYTHUL on social media. We would greatly appreciate it here at Bog Panda if you would consider liking and subscribing to the channel. Leave a couple comments, throw a like or two on, make sure you hit that bell for updates when new episodes come out. And then if you're not too tired after doing all that, you want to relax a little bit, jump over to one of our playlists called Hard No, home of the world's shortest podcast, available 100% free, comes bundled with your subscription. Also, you can get to it without a subscription, but subscribe. But it's the world's shortest podcast, really fun. Every episode's under 1 minute. Uh, Highly informative, in-depth research session. So you should absolutely enjoy Hard No. And then jump on over to our merch store where you can find an inordinate number of panda related t-shirts and other phrases as well. And a Dr. Mike Chlorine and Piranhas t-shirt, which I think every young lad should have. So it's so that's it. Thanks for listening.
thanks, Corey. That was a good episode. I've been waiting for an episode where I can naturally work in my Aztec death whistle. I feel like it was pretty smooth.
Yeah, that was. I thought it was. I it's you, so I didn't know. Maybe he's got a duck back there. It could have been one of the prisoners had loosened their gag, was able to get a little squeak out. But you're pretty good about making sure those stay tight. So,
Yeah,
so I didn't figure that was it, but you never do.
it's that delicate balance of restraint and still being able to breathe.
Just enough to stay vaguely conscious, right?
Yeah, vaguely conscious. I like it. That's a t-shirt.
That's a
So
t-shirt.
we're here to talk about Retro Games Limited, which is a company that both Kelly and I have experience with. My initial purchase from them was the C64 Mini, which of course people complained, being a mini console, why doesn't the keyboard work? It's just for show as part of the body. So we got a full sized Commodore 64. They also did a full size VIC 20, and they did the Amiga 500 Mini, which Kelly picked up. And uh, I don't want to speak for you, but I think you've been a fan of so far, right?
Yep, huge fan. It's done a great job, and just the nostalgia of it being so accurate in terms of a also non-functional keyboard, but given the size of the Amiga Mini, you wouldn't want that keyboard to be functional because it'd be impossible to type on it. It's too small. It's a mini. But it I've really enjoyed having it. It's worked great, and it's just good to kind of get back into Amiga world a little bit that way.
Well, they've announced a new product as they kind of had teased leading up to the first quarter of this year, and they in the first month of the year delivered. It's going to be the Atari 400 Mini, and it's not just the Atari 400. It's going to cover their line of 8-bit computers. It'll be compatible with games from all of those. Of course, it's going to come bundled with games, and it'll be similar form factor of a non-functional keyboard computer that you will plug in with a joystick, and it's going to be backwards compatible with the Commodore 64 joystick and the Amiga 32 style controller that came with the A500 Mini. So, what did you think of this product, sir, and this announcement in general?
Well, their track record's good, in terms of we've both had some experience here, and we both, I think, been pretty pleased and impressed with what they've done so far. So I have no doubt this is going to continue the trend. I never owned an Atari 400. I've seen pictures, and it certainly looks really accurate to kind of capturing that. So that looks cool. The fact that they comes with, I believe, four USB ports out the back for additional expansion, whether that's a full size keyboard or additional joysticks, like Mike mentioned. So I think it's got a good extensibility. You can also bring in ROMs through that, um, legally acquired ROMs through that process on a USB. So you can bring your own game on it as well. So it looks really cool. Comes, I think, with 24 or 25 bundled games, including Berzerk, which is one of my all-time favorites. Millipede's there, and Miner 2049er It's kind of a uh, Pitfall meets Donkey Kong sort of deal. That's a pretty cool game. That at some point we might talk about some different versions of that on the 64 and others as well. But so it's got a nice selection of games on it. It is, but they're going to be Atari 400 games. So some will weather the storm okay, but really, from what I've, when you look at like the Atari 2600 version of Miner 2049er, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. The C64 version looks really, really good. Um, the 400 version, not not bad, not bad at all. So and Berserk holds up pretty well because it's not exactly a render heavy experience. It's, you can get by. It's a very blocky kind of construct anyway. So I think Berserk is probably of all of them the one will translate the one. And if there was just a way that I could get to some of these Atari games, finally, the door's been opened for me to experience some of these Atari games. Oh, wait, there's a million other ways. And so for me, I'm super impressed with the look. I have wanted to, given my Atari token commitment and toyed with, I think I need to make sure I have representations of all things Atari throughout the years. So as I guess a wannabe Atari collector starts to appeal to me. It's going to come in about $120. It's not horrible. It's not a bad price. Like it better if it was 90, but I get it. I mean, you're getting a joystick with it too, so um, I can't really fault them for where they've got it price point wise. But I'm kind of on the fence. I do think I want to, I have a feeling, thanks to a certain co-host, that some of my funds are going to be rolling towards purchasing Nintendo 64 cases for a while. So I'll probably be rolling a few of those out before I kind of come back and look at this seriously. But it won't really even become available until March 28th, so of 2024. So um, I'll have to think about it. Where are you at on the Atari 400 Mini?
So I'm kind of split on this one. It's cool to see that because I mean, they have such a good track record of doing these mini console PCs, and then of course taking it as far as doing the full size Commodore 64 and VIC 20. Both of those are excellent products. I have the Commodore 64 full size, but it actually has everything for the VIC 20 in there, the operating system as well, so you can use it as that, and vice versa. Um, their products are great. They really understand sort of this market. There's a just enormous glut of Atari related things right now that are coming out in every conceivable format, from arcade cabinets to actual Atari 2600 consoles to plug and plays to now reissues of Atari computers. So, I mean, there's tons and tons of Atari stuff. So, it's not necessarily super exciting to see something new Atari when there's everything Atari that's coming out right now. What's exciting about this to me, and what does spark my interest, not so much in this because I personally don't have nostalgia for Atari's computer line. I played 2600 as a kid. Obviously, I'm familiar with Jaguar and their arcade games and things like that, but the Atari computer line I never really played. So I don't have any specific nostalgia for the machine. But, and as Kelly and I have talked about a lot, Atari, the Atari 2600 games, and I understand that was their big flagship. Those games are available in any conceivable format that you could possibly want them, in so many collections, so many different ways. And in recent years, 5200 and 7800 games are becoming fairly widely available as well, which is great. And there's a lot of 7800 games in particular that I really like Ninja Golf. Um, so it's cool to kind of see all that happen. But there's a lot of Atari systems and games that are still pretty criminally ignored when it comes to being reissued. I'm thinking, of course, about Jaguar and Lynx, especially. We got some of that stuff a little bit more recently. Some Lynx stuff has made its way to Evercade. We got, for the first time ever, some official reissues of Jaguar games on the Atari 50th collection, but these are still just criminally overlooked parts of their history. So to actually see a mini that isn't a 2600 is pretty exciting. And not that retro games would be doing it, but because they are focused on computer stuff specifically, but the idea that, maybe there's going to be licensing for other Atari minis that aren't 2600 or 7800 related in the future, that's an exciting prospect for me.
Yep. Yep. And we remain stalwart in our opinion that Jaguar Mini, somebody needs to get that out, because that would be awesome. And I mean, it would be pretty cool collection and experience to have the 64 Mini, the Genesis Mini 2, the 500, um, now this one, the Atari 400. But there'll be this empty slot over on the side that is for the Jaguar that needs to be filled by somebody. And it Dreamcast is probably another candidate, but I did put Jaguar far and ahead in terms of what I'd like to see.
You heard him, guys. Filling Kelly's slot.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Bog Panda.